Okay, so I got here late yesterday afternoon and I was working on this. I made some changes to the build. A couple things happened in the last 24 hours that are like making me redesign this interior. So I wanted to talk to you guys about it since I think you're paying attention to what I'm doing right now. I've got the bump outs in. I figured out the right height for the mattress that'll work with these bump outs. Where, you know, the height of the mattress comes in, but the flange stands proud of it. It's you want to give yourself some height in here, and if you make the mattress level with the top of the flange, you just drastically reduce the amount of space in here. Also, let me just explain, some of you are new here, you don't seem to understand. I have to talk about this all the time, but my build is a specific design for my needs, which is, this is my only vehicle, and I design and build custom furniture for a living. I do high-end built-ins, art projects, things like that. From time to time, I need to put 4x8 sheets of material in the van. I have this roof deck, which is awesome. I've had over a ton of material up there. So when I buy a lot of lumber, you know, I do that. But, you know, if it's bad weather, that sort of thing, or I don't feel like loading sheet materials on the roof, I want to be able to put them in the van. So the way this works out is this furniture blanket here is just there to protect the bedding, okay? And these trays I made, I could put materials and tools and stuff up there whenever I want, and they protect the bedding. And let's say I've got to put material down here. Well, everything I've got underneath here, which looks kind of cruddy right now, that's fine. I got a fridge back here, and this is a kitchen box I've got there that comes out that I made that's pretty unique. Maybe I'll show that to you later. So everything I have in here, I could put up on this deck, and then I can slide 4x8 sheets of material in here. I've got over 4 feet from this side to this side. Okay, now you know. Now you know why this is designed this way. Initially, when I had a bed in here, I had it where it was resting on this height, and I had worked it all out. It worked out perfect, and it was fine. Then I had a fridge that fit underneath there. But then Bodega, which they just contacted me. Grab this tape measure here. They sent me another email this morning. So they're offering me another fridge. When I got this fridge, you know, you can see the height here. It's roughly 14, a little over 14 inches tall. I had to raise my platform, and that's what I did. I made some riser blocks, and that worked out fine. Now, again, back to the new bump outs and finding the height there. It allowed me to raise this platform a little bit more, so now I have even more room back here. Good, for putting more stuff. Then Bodega sent me an email last night. Now, initially, when I took this unit, which I've been very happy with, I'm very happy with Bodega coolers. This is the third fridge I've had from different companies. This is the best one. It's got the most capacity. It's a dual zone. What I really like about it is it's made like a real cooler, like an ice cooler, so it could take a bunch of abuse, which that's what I really like. A lot of the smaller units that you can get, they've got that hard plastic. It's real shiny. And I just feel like those things can crack easier and all that. I didn't have that problem, but I don't abuse my stuff that much. At any rate, one of the units that they're offering me is it's like a $600 one that's 18 inches tall. So let's see if we can make this tape measure stick. This one's a little weak on me. What I've got here right now is, you can see I'm almost now. I want you to look at the platform construction. There's a 1/2 inch piece on the top and the bottom of plywood, and in the center there's 1 inch of poplar, and it sags a hair, but it's fine. Now you could see that from the top 1/2 inch to the bottom of the poplar, I've got 18 and about 3/16 of an inch. What I'd like to do now, I'm kind of bummed that this happened, but I can still make this work. What I'm thinking about doing is getting some square tubing of steel, 1/8 inch wall. That stuff won't bend at all. And if I had 4 pieces of that going across here, I could make 2 deck parts like I have here. These 2 are hinged, so I can lift, when these trays aren't here, I can lift this up, right? It helps me access things. Like I have this cavity in here now, which is great because I've got a place to store that super heavy duty vintage tripod I travel with. Here's a crazy thing. That was a built-in hidden compartment where I had a lever action rifle. stored in there for a while, which is no longer going to be in the van, so I don't mind showing that to you. And I knew it was there. I just kind of forgot about it. It was wrapped up in a towel with ammo and pill bottles. I think I shot a 1 minute short. I have not yet posted on that. Anyhow, I had this all set up perfect, and then Bodega hit me with this. So I'm going to double check their measurements, and if they'll send me the good one, the expensive one, and I think it'll work, I'll get it. It might be a little bit too large. It will be longer this way here and deeper, but if it still fits in this space, I'll be much happier with that. And what I'm getting at is, if I transition this steel and put just a 1/2 inch piece on it and make 2 long pieces and hinge them in the center, it'll still function like this one. And I could just put a 1/2 inch pad on top of here, like what you see here. And then that'll give me over 18 inches from the bottom of the steel, like imagine if that was steel, again, to the floor that's in here now. And then I'd be able to, again, fit the new Bodega fridge freezer in there, and I'd have a lot more capacity for longer trips, because I am planning to take this thing places. Now today, what I'm going to work on is this. So yesterday, and I wish I would have thought of this when I was building this out. See, I went real simple on this. I built these 2 boxes basically, which are 3/4 inch plywood. The beauty of it is you don't need framing with 3/4 inch plywood. Okay. And I mean, I even built this slider into the 3/4 inch. So it's amazing what you can do if you know what you're doing. Now, initially I had the height set again for the original bed platform, which is this one, for that height, and it worked out nice. And I just brought that straight across. You can see I cut it here as well. And then this closet rests on that, and it cantilevers over, again, so I could fit 4x8 sheets of plywood in here. I never thought about dropping this. I wish I would have thought to drop this at the time. I could have had a much tall... This needs to be hinged here, because it's the right height when this folds down to turn it into a table that you use when you sit in this chair when it's spun around the other direction. I could have had a drawer here that was much deeper. That would have been cool. I'm kind of beating myself up over that right now, but it's fine. I can always build another one of these, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do today is, and it's a thing, because I'm going to go over the top with this, right? I just pulled out a bunch of hardwood scrap, which is going to take me all stinking day to mill to glue up some boards. So what I want to do is build a box right here. It's going to be approximately 16 inches deep from, about this point here. It's going to come out here somewhere. And I want to make it, I've got 2 inches from the top of this to here. And I kind of want to make it so that top is pretty flush with this here. And the dream is it's a box. So there's a top, there's a side that comes down, which will hold this from sliding forward here. It'll come out 16 inches. It'll be that high. It's nice. When I made this, I took the old one, laid it on its side, cut it up, and fit it in here. And I had this cool, it didn't look great, but it was a box here. And it was nice to have like a night table to put things next to you. Plus, I could sit with my head over here and set my laptop up on here and watch movies. It was very convenient. I really liked having that. So I want to recreate that. And the other thought is, what if I'm in here and it's inclement weather, and I need to cook or something? Well, I need a place to do that. And so what I'm thinking is 2 layers. So there'll be a top and there'll be another one under it that I can grab right here and pull out. And so let's say it is 16 inches. Theoretically, I can get 32 inches of depth here of a lot of workspace. And I have a, this is kind of a trick idea here, but I have one of those 1 burner cookers that screw on the top of a 1 pound propane bottle, and it's got this stainless steel square shape to it. And I was kind of thinking, what if you made a shelf? Could be here, could be on this door over here, could be anywhere. I got to do another one on the back door over here. I've been wanting to do another, like I've got this kitchen here. You guys have seen this before. This all folds down. I've been meaning to do one here as well, and I was kind of considering having a recessed cutout in it where that cooking stove fits in it. So the propane bottle just hangs on the bottom of it. Now you've got like a shelf with a burner in it at the same level. That would be pretty trick. And it would be neat if I could have that inside the van as well. So I'm not going to do that part today at all. That's just like a future idea. I could do it where I have an insert, so when I pull the bottom one out, it's solid, and I could lift that out with my fingers and then put the stove in it. That would be cool, because then the stove height would be right at this level here somewhere, and the propane unit would hang under it, rather than sitting all that on top of a shelf and having it too close to the ceiling. Because, you know, if you're going to cook in here, you got to be careful with that sort of thing. I don't intend on doing a lot of cooking in here, and when I am out, I do cook. Got everything I need to cook. But I watch these channels of people doing these gourmet meals. Man, eggs with some spices and some cheese is good enough. It's like the best meal. And I can eat a lot of food that I don't need to cook. So it is a weird thing that people take it to this crazy degree when they're off-road and they're basically trying to live the same way they live at home. It's cool if you could do it, if you can afford all that and everything, but I think it's, personally, I think it's too much. Anyhow, that's what I'm working on right now. So I've got to set up the shop. I mean, you can see what I have to go through every time in here. Pulling everything out right now, and I just pulled all this wood. I've got some oak. I think this is red oak here. I got some white oak. I got a lot of walnut here. There's some cherry in here. So basically, it'll kind of look like one of my cutting boards. It's a lot of work to put into this. It's more than I would like to put into it, but the wow factor will make it worth it in the end. So anyhow, I'm going to get to it. So I just rough cut the lengths on these scrap pieces. I don't know if this is enough to do both of the shelves. I hope it is. If not, I've got plenty more to pick from. This board is about 7/8 of an inch thick, and it's already been milled. It's perfectly straight and flat. So my goal is to get all of these parts to an inch, or excuse me, 7/8 of an inch roughly. And then I'll do my glue ups, and we'll see how it works out. This here is a red oak, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like the way it smells. I don't like its characteristics. None of it. And this piece here is split. So I got to slice this piece at least into narrower pieces. So, yeah. Alright, so some table saw work, some planer and joiner work, some resawing. All that's from resawing. And I've got all these parts here. Doesn't look like much right now, but that'll be 2 panels all glued up, 15 to 16 inches deep by about 28 1/8 inches wide. So each one of these is, I don't know, close to 8 inches wide. And I have to do them that way because here's my glue rack setup that I make for myself. My joiner and planer is right here, and that's only, I can do about 10 1/4 max on the width on that. So it's an Inca joiner planer. If you're not familiar with that, that's, you guys should look that up. I've got some videos on it here. It's a European machine, very good machine. So yeah, these things have to dry. I don't know, man. It's about 235, and I don't know if these set up enough. The thing about Type On 2 wood glue is in 20 minutes it's really set where you could work it. So I'll do a few things here. If I feel like it's okay, maybe I'll run them through the planer, the joiner and the planer, and then glue up the 2 panels. I don't know. I might wait till tomorrow to do that. But again, each one of these is going to be 15 to 16 inches. I haven't made that determination yet. Got these 3 scrap pieces of walnut. They're all different thicknesses, so I've got to mill these to the same thickness and glue all 3 of these together like this. And then you can barely see these pencil lines, but I need a kooky piece that does this, goes that way, and another one's going to come the opposite. And it's the 2 side pieces here that are going to support those tops. This is the inside of the van. little rough sketches here. This is where the power stations sit. It's a little the little hasp that closes the glass window. So this is kind of what I go through here. Actually, I'll show you something interesting. These are old sketches of ideas I had when I first was building the van. I was going to build boxes built in, like stuff cubbies up there, and just have a panel here behind the driver's seat. Of course, now I have that closet. I basically built this originally. And then I was going to put a box here. I was going to have a cutting board on the top, and it was going to open, and I was going to have a stove in there. I was going to have it lined with metal. I never built that, but those were just mine. And there's a clip system here. I was going to have like a rail here that I was going to have boxes with clips that could catch on the rails so they wouldn't slide off. I never got around to that. I have a whole different build going on now, but those were my original thoughts, I don't even know, 6 years ago. Kind of cool. Okay, so as you can see, I was able to get both pieces out of that glue up of the 3 parts. It left me with this kooky piece here, which is kind of cool. So one of these is deeper than the other. So one is the right side and one is the left side. There's going to be some massaging here, obviously. And you already saw snapshots, I'm sure. So yeah, one's going to go on that side, one's going to go on this side. And you would say, hey, you don't need one on this side because I can attach to here. But the idea is the piece of plywood that those 2 power stations are sitting on is going to eventually be screwed directly to the bottoms of those 2 parts you just saw. And I'm going to screw down through the top of that into the top. So I'm going to plug it with wood plugs. And then that whole thing is going to be able to kind of like, I mean, obviously you would take the power stations out. And then that whole thing will be kind of like a cabinet that I can kind of tilt forward and pull out. And just remove completely if I need to, for whatever reason. All right, so I just slapped this in real quick. I got to go meet some friends who drove out from Texas. They are down in, they're parked in Malibu at an RV park. So I'm going to go, I might even spend the night there myself. So I wanted to get this in. These will get countersunk more, and I'll put Purple Heart plugs on them. And this whole thing's going to come out. I have to massage these parts more, and I want to clear them. And you can see here, there's over an inch of space here. So I've got enough room to put another one of these in, full extension. That'll come out. It'll slide out on slides. I notched this. You guys saw the pictures. So enough room to pull that up right there. Well, I had it perfect, and now it's rubbing a little bit. That's not a big deal. I can take a little bit more of this out. So I guess I fit that nice and snug. Nice fit here, actually. So, pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. I may even make something else for that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I just want to get this video started. Today's day 2 on this. I could have done this in one long day, but I knocked off yesterday. Here's the shelf that will be the pullout. And so, yeah, it's about 7/8 of an inch thick. And solid wood. Came out pretty good. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Be good. And I'll catch you soon. This will be dialed a lot better by next week before the big event. The meetup with Wonder Hussy, which is a fundraiser for the Baghdad Cafe. So meet us at the Baghdad Cafe in Newberry Springs, California on Old Route 66. And it's going to also be an Astro van meetup. And that's why I'm kind of putting the time into this. I'd like to have this thing dialed at least, somewhat nicer, or with all the stuff that happened in the last couple weeks with the bump outs and everything. So, because I'll be spending a night or two there, and I want it nice for myself. It's nice to have a little table here. Again, put your laptop up there, and it's a nice little night table, and I could sleep with my head on either end. And again, great access to the power stations. You guys get the picture. All right. I'll catch you in the next one.